How it do be, my fellow N-words? Hope you're all doing well, and today we are back with another story video. Because as you all know, my videos on creators, or a topic I'm very interested in, take a while to make, and because of that, I usually can't put out one video a week, and I want to try and do that for this channel. I want to provide at least one video a week for you all. So I figured, hey, might as well upload some story videos in between my long uploads. I'm not sure if I said this in my last story video, which I'll leave in the description below. It was about the time a kid got the school shut down by flushing rocks down the toilet, and other wacky things that have happened in my high school's bathroom. So yeah, if high school bathrooms pique your interest in a non-creepy way, I'll leave it in the description as I said before. Now, before I get into today's story, I do want to say 3 things, and that is, for one, thank you all for 10,000 subscribers. It truly means a lot to me that you guys stick around to watch my videos, and the fact that there are 10,000 of you just still amazes me. I honestly never thought I would be able to get to this milestone, but yeah, again, thank you all for 10,000 subscribers. It truly means a lot you're here, and thank you for sticking around. 2, I want to announce some new things for the Patreon, like new tiers and new rewards are available on my Patreon. So yeah, if you guys want to check those out and possibly become a patron member, I'll leave a link in the description below for you guys to go check that out. I plan on adding more stuff later on, but for now, I got some new stuff available on that, and again, if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description below. And 3, I have merch now, so if you want to check that out or possibly buy some merch, I'll leave a link in the description below. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's just jump into the story. So today, we're going to talk about the time my lunch table got into a war with 2 other lunch tables, all because of a joke. So back when I was in high school in junior year, I was lucky enough to sit at a table with a majority of my friends during lunch, and during lunch, like most people in high school, we would talk to each other and joke around with each other about stuff, and eat, I guess. But anyways, one of the things my friends and I like to joke about at that time, and how we still like to do this to this day, is we like to make dirty jokes towards each other. Stuff like, "Ooh, how's it going, cutie?" Or, "Remember, dude, I can still touch your asshole. I got socks on, man, so that means it's no homo." You know, stuff like that. And one day when we were making jokes like that, and basically just pretending to act gay towards each other because we thought it was funny, and I mean, hell, I still think that's kind of funny when me and my friends do that. Anyways, so when we were joking about that, another lunch table overheard us making jokes like that, and they just like yelled at us, "Hey, stop that." Now you're probably thinking, oh, you guys were just being very annoying and loud, so that kid had every right to say that to you. Well, no, actually, that was not the reason why he did that. In fact, we never bothered anybody or were even that loud during lunch. So because of that, my one friend Jack yelled back at him, "Why do you care? It's not bothering anybody else." And the reason why this kid cared was because he was very homophobic. In fact, he even said, like, back to my friend something along the lines of, "Because being gay is wrong," or something like that. Yes, you heard me right. This kid was so fucking homophobic that he hated dirty jokes where you pretended to hit on your friends. In fact, he was very open about his homophobia with a lot of people. Like, a lot of people just knew him as a homophobe. Actually, you know what? Before I go any further, I might as well describe this kid a little more, just to give you an idea of the type of person we were dealing with. Along with his group of friends too, because they were all pretty much the same fucking person. They were basically these very douchey, homophobic kids that acted like they were above everybody else for some freaking reason. Like, they would pretend they're all big and strong. In fact, these kids weren't even that strong at all, despite how much they pretended to act like it. In fact, the one that was very mad at the jokes we were making had a fucking H3H3 gut. And they would also like to bring up how they were Albanian all the freaking time if you were in a conversation with them for some freaking reason, which I don't know why. I don't really care if you're Albanian or not. Anyways, now that you got an idea of the type of kids we had to deal with, let's continue. So because we thought it was freaking hilarious how this kid was so homophobic that he hated jokes in which we pretended to act very gay towards each other by saying stuff like, "Hey, cutie," we decided to keep doing it. And for some reason, he just kept listening in, and he kept getting more mad and mad, along with his friends too, which just made it even more funny that these homophobes were just getting mad at our jokes that weren't even directed towards them. And we eventually kept doing this until the bell rang. And when that happened, they pretty much just stormed out of there, all pissed off and stuff, just because of a few jokes. So the next day during during lunch, we decided to keep fucking with these homophobic kids because we thought it was hilarious still. And we decided to take it up a step a bit by directing jokes at him by saying stuff like, "Hey, my friend thinks you're very cute." You know, stuff like that. And during lunch, some other kid came over and we'll just call this kid Jim. And he started to join in with us on teasing the homophobic kid. And eventually the kid got so mad at us to the point where him and all of his friends basically came over to our lunch table and we started arguing with each other and we started making fun of them. But they did start making fun of us before we started making fun of them, so just want to make that clear. Anyways, these kids kept running out of insults to the point where one of them said this to my friend Jack: "Oh, I bet you get no pussy," and like they all started laughing, thinking that that was funny. And because of that, Jack decided to respond to him by saying, "Yeah, I do, I get your mom's." And I kid you not, the kid who fucking said, "I bet you get no pussy," literally fucking started charging at my friend, getting ready to punch him in the face, and he started screaming at my friend saying, "What did you say?" But then a bunch of people had to hold him back to prevent him from doing that, and one of the cafeteria staff people came over and told him, "Hey, you can't do that. You kids just go sit down at your lunch tables," or something like that. However, right after he said that, the bell rang and we all pretty much just went off to class, and me and my friend and a bunch of other people from my lunch table basically kept laughing at that freaking kid because, no joke, just think about it, this kid got mad at a fucking yo mama joke. Like, how fucking unstable do you have to be to get mad at that shit? Like, that's just freaking creepshow art levels of emotional stability if you're willing to flip out that hard over a yo mama joke. Anyways, we didn't have that much interaction with them after that for a couple of weeks until one day, because like Twitter, they got mad over a joke we were making. And here's the thing, the joke we were making wasn't even a gay joke either. You ready to hear the joke they got mad at? It was just us saying this to each other, and I don't even know why we found this funny at the time, but here it was. It was just us saying this to each other: "You're making me angry!" And compared to everybody else in the cafeteria, we weren't being that loud at all when we were saying that, so there was no reason again for these guys to get mad, but for some reason they did. However, we just kind of ignored them for a bit, and we all just kind of focused on making each other laugh by saying, "You're making me angry," and we kept trying to find more and more obnoxious ways to say "you're making me angry." Like, we slammed our hands on the table and said, "You're making me angry!" Or say like somebody's name and then go, "Hey, you're making me angry!" Somebody that was sitting at our table, by the way, which everybody sitting at the table, we were all pretty much good with each other, and everybody in our table was participating in the joke, so I just want to make that clear because I don't want people thinking we were just like saying random people's names around us and like just pointing at them and saying, "Hey, you're making me angry," because while that is kind of funny thinking about it, doing it is just like, you come off as an asshole if you do it to somebody that's not participating in the joke. So I just want to make that clear real quick. And we kept doing that for a bit until this one girl who was sitting at the table behind us decided to get mad at us, and she said, "Can you guys shut up? You guys are being too loud and annoying." And which we weren't being that loud at all. In fact, again, compared to everybody in the cafeteria, we were pretty tame when it came to noise level. In fact, all the lunch tables around us, except the homophobic douchebags, didn't find us very loud or annoying. So it's kind of weird that these two tables were getting mad at us for some reason, even though we weren't being too loud or anything like that. I'd also like to add that this girl was known for being a bitch to people that weren't in her friend group. And from what I knew, not that many people liked her because she was just pretty rude. Anyways, after she said that to us, my friend Jack responded to her saying, "Why? We're not bothering anybody else." She then responded by saying, "You know what, actually, before I continue with this story, I'm just gonna call this girl by the name of her nickname we gave her at our table, which was Horseface." Anyway, she then responded to my friend by saying, "Well, we're trying to eat." And my friend Jack then responded to her by saying, "Oh, I didn't know noise was making it so you can't eat. I didn't know it could do that to you." And again, I know I keep mentioning this, but we weren't being that loud, so there was no reason why she had to do that to us. And then Horseface responded to Jack by saying, "Yeah, it does." Which, no, it doesn't, because you guys gotta remember that this is a high school cafeteria, and this was like in the middle of October, and ever since school started, the cafeteria has always been noisy. Alright, so for her to say that is just complete bullshit. And what difference would it have made if we decided to be quiet? Because there still would have been a lot more noise that was louder than us around her. So for her to say this is just completely stupid, and which adds to the fact that there was no reason for her to get mad at us. Anyways, after that, one of the people sitting at our table then said to Jack, "Jack, stop. Can't you see you're making her angry?" And then my friend Jack responded to him saying, "I'm getting angry." And we just kept saying that to each other because it was still pretty funny, and it was also funny seeing that girl getting pissed at us. And we kept finding more and more obnoxious ways to say it until one of my friends by the name of Peter found a way to say "I am angry" in the most funny way possible. And to this day, I don't know if he did this out of madness or if he did this to assert his dominance over the other tables. He decided to get on top of our lunch table, and then he started jumping on it saying, "I am angry." And after he did that, we all started laughing, including a bunch of other tables that were around us all started laughing, because, I mean, for God's sakes, my friend literally jumped on the fucking table. Like, how many times do you see that in a high school? Anyways, after my friend jumped on the table, he then sat back down. And when he sat down, a cop came over to our table, over to my friend who jumped on the table, grabbed his shoulder, and then said something along the lines of, "Hey, I gotta talk to you real quick," in which he didn't even take him to another room. He just whispered in his ear, like, to stop jumping on tables or something along those lines. And after that, the bell rang and lunch was pretty much over for that day, and that was really the last time we got into any beef with any lunch tables. And to this day, my friend jumping on the lunch table still remains one of my best high school memories. Anyways, guys, the moral of this story is, jump on tables. Alright, I'm gonna go now. I'd like to give a thanks to the patron Zombie Fox.